Alright, you beautiful people, Kanzi here, bringing you episode 46 of Kenshi Age of Blood and Sand Iron Man playthrough. We have just survived the Southern Hive attack. We have taken their Royal Praetorian Executioner and put him into the peeler machine because he killed about 7 of our hives, so we're going to get revenge. What we've done is taken his arms and legs off, and now we're just running him over to the Holy Nation mine so they can take him and make him a prisoner. They have picked him up, but they also aggroed onto Lidus, so we're just going to pull Lidus back so that that guy can have his just dessert, so to say. And also with the skin, we will be turning it into a jacket just because I am twisted like that. I am going to take a slave rescue and we're going to start to head down to the Ashlands. I wanted to get a feel for the area, see if we can do it with the slave rescue group. If we can't, not a problem, we can always go and get reinforcements. But what we have found on the way across the Black Desert, we found a Mecha Leviathan. Now these things are stupidly tough and very difficult to take down. So what we've done is we've traded the armor across from Tychus to Lidus, so he has the Black Hive carapace, and then we're going to send Ray with him as well. We'll use Ray to taunt, and then hopefully we can get Lidus to cause as much damage onto the Mecha Leviathan as we can. But like I said, these boys are tough to take down. Their regen is actually insane, and they attack super quick. So what we've got to try and do is get their dexterity as low as you can, otherwise you guys can't actually block their attacks. So to do that, all we need to do is just get Lidus and Ray to cause as much damage as they can before their stats get taken down as well. Once we get the Mecha Leviathan into a situation where it isn't attacking insanely fast and it can be blocked, we'll start bringing extra guys over, and what we'll do is we'll cycle our guys in and cycle them out. Because if I put everyone into this fight, I can guarantee I'm going to lose a bunch of them. We've brought Nipium because I want to get his bleed damage, and hopefully we can use that to try and nullify its regen, because its regen is keeping it alive like mad. We're bringing in 2 Cantino, Gnu and Lance. We'll split them up and we'll get them to attack from all different angles, because the splash damage on the Mecha Leviathan, yet again, like a normal Leviathan, is insane. So if we can attack from all angles, we can take its stats down even more. But it is stupidly tough and very difficult to take down. I've got to be careful because the Mecha Leviathan is more than capable of killing 2 Cantino or Gnu in about 3 hits, as they don't really have head armor. So Gnu's already down, but we've still got 2 Cantino and Lance in. We're going to bring the other guys in as well, because it's getting to the point now where we just need to finish it. So we have Jack, Ping and Shock coming in. The reason I held these 3 guys back is because they are 3 of my weaker hives within the slave rescue, so bringing them in early would have just led them to being taken down. Now its dexterity is dropping and it's not attacking as fast and it can be blocked. I think just having more attacks going in is going to be a safer bet to take it down. We have somehow got it into a chain lock, so we're able to get a bunch of attacks off now in rapid succession, so we are looking in a good situation to bring it down. I'm hoping it drops some good loot, because this was quite a difficult battle and it took a long time. I was running it on 2 times speed because it's taking such a while. So what it dropped is it dropped like a Leviathan core, which is worth 120,000, which is pretty nice but not super useful. I would have preferred like a bunch more AI cores, because it dropped 1 AI core, 1 skeleton muscle and a Leviathan pal. So all in all, not really worth it. We headed back to the base, we've healed up, and now we are heading down towards Morn. Once we're at Morn, we will regroup because my guys are running at different speeds, and then we are gonna head down into the Ashlands. So the plan for the Ashlands is, ideally with this one group, we will go in and we will kill Cat Lion. If not, what we'll do is we'll retreat back out, regroup with the city guard, and then go back in all together. Thankfully the Skelly Bros or the Skin Bandits aren't too fussed by us, so they will let us pass. They just call us organic robots, so we don't need to worry about those guys, which is pretty good, because having to fight through them and then having to fight into the Ashlands would be very difficult. Not impossible, but it would have taken us a lot longer. This way we can run through without too much to worry about. We will use the Southern Skin House HQ as a rendezvous point for our group, and then we're just going to go and see if we can get straight into the heart of Cat Lion's base. Was just running along, wasn't paying attention, and yeah, I got a bunch of guys just taken down. It appears the blood spider's done it, which I'm a little bit confused about because my guys can absolutely destroy the blood spiders. But that is Cantino has gone down, Ping has gone down, and Nippy went down, but Nippy got back up. So we're just going to go take them out and hopefully regroup and then go again. But yeah, really surprised by that. Wasn't expecting them firstly to be able to even catch us, let alone take our guys down, which is super odd, but not an issue. We'll get everyone healed up and then we will continue on our way. We will continue on to the anonymous place. That is the Ash Dome which Catlon is in. We've found an entrance, but it is going through a choke point. So we are going to end up having to take a fight. There's a bunch of iron skimmers, some iron robots, and there's also a group of thralls coming down the hill to our left. This is a fight we're not going to be able to avoid because we will be drawn onto them. The iron skimmers are moving on, but the thralls are coming down. Against the thralls, we have some very good equipment. A lot of our weapons do bonus damage against robots, so going into them, it's going to be a very quick and one-sided fight. But the more damage we take now is going to put us in a worse situation for when we get into the Ash Dome, because that place is going to be crazy busy with robots. So we want to try to keep our guys with as much health as we can now, so their stats stay high. Cantino is down, it looks like Jack's down as well, which isn't a massive issue. Those guys got pretty mashed up by the blood carriers, but safe to say they are not going to be much use in the last fight against Catlon. If we have the chance, what I like to do is I like to have Lidus fight Catlon 1 versus 1. If that's doable or not, I'm not sure, because it will depend on where the robots spawn. Sometimes the robots spawn by Catlon, so therefore they aggro in when you get in a fight. Other times they spawn in the other Ash Dome, and all that means is you can take them out and you can fight Catlon by her or himself, which I reckon would be a good showing to see how powerful Lidus has become, since as this is like the end game character for Vanilla Kenshi. So I want to see what Lidus can do, if Lidus can beat Catlon or if Lidus will get taken down. My money will be on Lidus, but then what happens in the Age of Blood and Sand is a lot of the bosses have been changed from what they were in Vanilla. So there will be like a different thing. So as we saw with the Dust King, he was a juggernaut, which means that he's considerably more powerful than a normal human being, and then there's more powerful robots than just the vanilla base ones. So as a result, it should be good fun. Hopefully it's like a special robot, so there's extra HP and extra stats, and should be a pretty decent fight. But I haven't gone and fought Catlon in the Age of Blood and Sand in a while, so I'm not sure if it's been updated or changed, but I guess we will find out pretty soon. We're going into the Ash Dome just before Catlon's. Just from looking from the outside, it looks fairly busy if I can get the camera angles right on it, and the guys keep spawning in and spawning out. What we'll do is we'll just go in, see what is awaiting us, and just try to take everyone down if we can. But there is seeming to be a lot of them in there, so yeah, there is quite a few of them, which is good. It'll be a nice little scrap to go in. And also, so far in the Ashlands, we really haven't found anything too dangerous, other than those blood carriers that managed to catch a couple of my guys off guard, which I'm still a little bit confused about. But these guys, there is a lot of them coming in, but it should be pretty good fun. Everyone's doing a pretty decent job, and you just got people falling off like that ramp just from like the ragdoll mechanics, and they're starting to create like a heap of bodies or corpses at the bottom of the ramp. Sort of reminds me of the end of season 6 in Game of Thrones. Can't say their name here, but I imagine if you know, you know. We are clearing through them quite quickly. Now they don't have crazy numbers against us. We are just hacking through them, which is pretty good. More of them keep coming. They're coming from up the stairs to like keep on reinforcing, which isn't a massive issue. It's just more robots for us to kill, and hopefully any robots that are around in this area are going to be aggroed in as well. So it should mean that when we go to fight Catlon, it will just be a 1 versus 1 fight. I'm not sure yet, but once we're there, I imagine we'll find out. If it's not, it shouldn't be a massive issue. We should just be able to draw the robots out and then isolate Catlon by themselves and then take them out from there. But we still have to clear all the robots in this area first. They just seem to keep on coming. I guess I would be disappointed if there wasn't a massive horde to take down before the final character. So we're just going to keep working our way through, keep on going, and then once we've cleared enough of them, we will head on to Catlon. So we cleared the area. That's pretty much all of the robots. All the camera angles started messing up, so we have moved on to the next section. This is the loot I got from there. Pretty disappointing. There really wasn't much there. Some CPU cores, some AI cores, and some tech notes. But I guess it is time to now get ready and start heading into Catlon's throne room. What I'm going to do is I'll move the guys to one side. I'll get them set so they go on passive, and then I'll send Lidus in by himself. We'll have Lidus poke his head in, see what's happening in there, and as we can see, it is just Catlon. This is just about the perfect scenario for what we wanted. This will give Lidus a chance to fight the pretty much endgame character of Kenshi in one-on-one combat and see what will happen. I do feel kind of bad because Catlon doesn't seem to be aggroing onto us, so we are going to have to go in and attack Catlon first. But really doesn't seem all that impressive. We're expecting a little bit more. If we pull back so they're not by the throne, or maybe they just go and sit down again. Hopefully we can get a decent fight out of this, but it's not looking like it. Okay, what was that, 4-5 hits? And Catlon's down. I'm not saying Lidus is powerful, but that seems pretty powerful to me. A little bit anticlimactic. 46 episodes building up to this one moment, and Lidus takes them down in 4 or 5 hits. Catlon's gear isn't super impressive. Does have a Meitu Falling Sun, which is a wicked weapon. Comes with an AI core, which is decent. A CPU core, which is worth 60 grand, which yet again is pretty nice. A third eye terrorist schematic, which isn't all that great. And then some rusted samurai armor, which yet again, not amazing. But yeah, 46 episodes building up to that one fight, and it was over super quickly. So what the plan is, we're going to head back to the base. Once we're at the base, I have figured out how to make Lidus's dexterity over level 200. So what we need to do is, on the way back to the base, we'll stop by the tech scribes. We'll give them the tech scraps that were found. With those tech scraps, we can increase our relationship with them. Once we've increased our relationship with them, we have access to their inventory. In their inventory, we can buy armors from them, which you can put into your shirt slot and I believe into your belt slot. These should bring Lidus's dexterity up over level 200. I have been producing some hyper alloy limbs, and thankfully we managed to get 2 which were masterwork, which are going to give Lidus an even bigger boost. Mixed with everything else, he should be in a pretty good state. We got the executioner's skin and we turned that into a coat, because, well, I said I was going to, so we done it. We're now just gearing Lidus up for the fight, so we're getting him with the club. We've also got an elite assassin's belt, and now our dexterity is over 229 with 135 strength and 150 dodge. We're going to take some food, and then we are going to run down to the Bugmaster and beat him down with a stick. Getting to the Bugmaster should be pretty straightforward to us. It's not a super difficult place to get to, so long as you can move quick and you can take a couple tags from the skin spiders, because as you can see, they have just filled this valley here. So we're just going to run around them and then we're going to carry on. It doesn't matter if Lidus gets hit a couple times, because he's got such a big HP pool and his toughness is super high that he can take the hit and carry on going without too much issue. But as you can see, there is a crazy amount of spiders in this area, and what happens is most people go in with a squad, someone gets injured, they start moving slow, and then as they move slow, more spiders show up and they eventually just get overrun. So for a lot of parties, by the time they even get to the Bugmaster, they are super beaten up, and then he can just pick them apart. Thankfully Lidus is fresh, so we should just be able to go in, get upstairs, find the Bugmaster, and then get him to aggro and follow us down, as we want to fight the Bugmaster 1 versus 1 in as fair of a fight as we can. Fighting all of the spiders might make it easier for us, but at the same time it could also make it harder. whereas I just want it to be Lidus versus the Bugmaster, Hiver to man. The Bugmaster in the Age of Blood and Sand is a juggernaut, which is what I hope for, because in the Age of Blood and Sand, just being a human with level 90 stats isn't particularly impressive. There are a lot of characters in the game that have those stats, and some people have better. So for him to be a juggernaut kind of makes him more relevant. Otherwise he would just be like a royal guard in most factions. Seeing as we have finished off the objectives for this playthrough, what I reckon we should do is go around and hunt down the most powerful characters that I can think of. I'm sure there'll be other characters that are more powerful than the ones that we're going to go and fight, but they are pretty dangerous and have stats far better than that of the Bugmaster. So what we'll do is we'll get the Bugmaster, we're going to pick him up so I can sell him off, and then I'm also going to go down towards the south here. Those of you that don't know, this is what they call the Bugmaster's real stash. So this outpost here has a fair amount of tech in it and generally isn't super heavily defended. So you just follow the path from the Bugmaster's tower to the south, and then you'll come here and then you can get the kit. Alternatively, you can come this way, go around and then get to the Bugmaster's tower from the south, and you can cut out most of the spiders, which makes it a lot easier. So if you want to go after the Bugmaster for the first time and you haven't done it before and you're not sure what to do, you can go that way and you can avoid most of the spiders. Okay, so we have Pyramid Head here, who is pretty tough, has some decent stats, decent equipment, and a butcher's sword, which is very powerful. But it's not going to save him. And what's that, 5 hits now? 6. Okay, so Lidus has taken him down to 6. So these are his stats. As you can see, the weapon has a very nice mix between blunt and cut damage. That helmet offers chest protection, which is quite nice and offers quite a lot of protection. So you could mix that with another armor set and be pretty well off. The skirt on the other side, not particularly great. We're then going to hunt down these mist creatures. They are super tough. Thankfully these guys are the tanky ones, they're not the guys with a super high dexterity. But if you use the recruit prisoner mod, you can take these, recruit them, and you can put them in Hiver plate, and then you have some really dangerous characters you can add to your crew, and they are quite a lot of fun. But do not expect a balanced playthrough if you have them on your side, because there is 5 of them here, and I'm having to micro Lidus quite a lot, and he's taking a fair amount of damage from them. So if you start adding them onto your team when they actually have decent equipment, they have armor and their stats go up, they become absolutely devastating. A lot of fun though, but not balanced in the slightest. Says the guy using a Praetorian with over 200 dexterity, but that's only one character. I mean, as soon as Lidus starts getting some decent attacks off, like things just start dropping right away, because once the attacks go in, their dexterity takes a massive hit and it goes down, and where Lidus' dexterity is so high, it just means they can't block his attacks and they can get in super quick. I mean, there's 3 of them still up, but each time Lidus goes in and he gets one of these attacks off, he's causing a serious amount of damage. Now Lidus is in light armor, which means that most of the protection that he's getting is coming from his toughness instead of from the armor itself. But then the trade-off is Lidus has some crazy high dexterity and his stats aren't getting tanked. Because what happens when you start wearing heavy armor is the heavy armor starts taking away from your damage, and it starts taking away from your dexterity, whereas almost all of Lidus' kit adds to his attack damage and adds to his dexterity, which is why, well, part of the reason why his attack damage is crazy high at the moment. What we have found here is another strange vault, and in this strange vault we have Ender, which is a legendary class katana. Quite a nice bit of kit. And as I was going back through, I noticed that the Holy Nation somehow still has Blister Hill. So I've gone in to see what's happening, and it turns out the High Lord Phoenix, even though we sold him off, is still here. Despite the rest of the Holy Nation having fallen to the shack, and me selling the High Lord Phoenix off, he has come back. So I'm going to see if Lidus can go in and solo this whole group of guards. He's already gone through and killed off the city, took virtually no damage, but I want to see if Lidus can take these guys. Some of these guys have stats just a little bit shy of the Bugmaster, and in some areas actually have better stats than the Bugmaster as well. But Lidus can kill them in pretty much 1 or 2 hits. It's just getting the attack off, because at the moment we are running the 5 times attack slots, which means that Lidus is getting chained like crazy. If it was on the standard Kenshi attack slots, Lidus would just be going from one into the next and just cutting through them. Whereas right now I need to move out to get back in to get the Alpha Strike off and stopping them from surrounding Lidus, because Lidus is pretty beasty, but the 5 times attack slot, even with his dexterity as high as it is, he can run into a lot of trouble, especially when fighting against guys that are as good as the ones that we are now. A lot of their good characters have gone down, and it looks like a few of the town guards are coming in, which isn't a massive issue. If anything, it might make it easier, because if we can target them, that means they're less likely to block, so the cleave damages will go off. But it's strange that it was, what, 8 episodes ago that it took all of my hives to go in to take the Lord Phoenix down, and now Lidus is able to do it by himself. Not that he's improved that much, and he's pretty much got the same stats. He's pretty much got the same base stats. It's just I changed the equipment a little bit, and it has made a massive amount of difference. So it kind of goes to show that maybe heavy armor isn't as good as I think it was. So it might be a new take on my characters from now on. But this brings me to our next point. I am starting a new Kenshi series, and after seeing Lidus and what Lidus can do, I think I'm going to do a solo run. And what it will be is, it will be obviously solo run, so it's one character. I think I'll start as a torso for the challenge. It'll be no stealing and no base building, so I'll only be able to buy kit or loot it from the dead, which I reckon will be a pretty interesting playthrough, and it'll be a decent take. But we're going to go to the Avalon Isles now, because these guys are some of the tougher guys in the game. Almost everyone here will be running around in specialist grade samurai armor, which is mental. Their stats are really good, and their swords are amazing, which is actually a decent place to go early on in the game, for the off chance that you see one of these guys go down and then you loot their kit off them, and you are pretty much sorted off the bat. Also, in the actual city itself, the guards run around with melee weapons, so what you can do is you can loot the guards and you can have a melee weapon super early on in the game, which is always handy to have, so long as you can wield it. But we seem to be cutting through these guys pretty easy, same with the others. But with this, ladies and gentlemen, I need to bring not only this episode to an end, but this series as a whole. So thank you for joining me on this journey, where we started with Lidus, one-armed, starving in the desert, to now going around and absolutely ruining some of the most powerful characters in the age of Blood and Sand. It has been a journey, but with your guys' support, it has been a pleasure. All your likes, comments and subs have been amazing, and as always, you guys have been awesome, and I will look forward to catching you in the next series.